Just want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be listening to my podcast. I just want to say have a blessed, awesome, beautiful day. Remember, God loves you and so do I. I'm just giving out encouraging words, lifting you up, letting you know that you are somebody. Single women, rise up. Never let no one tear you down. Remember, you are blessed, awesome, beautiful. Have a great day. Enjoy listening to the podcast. Be blessed. Hello and welcome. I want to talk a little bit more about time that I was proposed to. I want to elaborate more on that. Um, like I said, I got over him, and yes, I was hurting, but this was a different type of hurt than the uh, hurt that I had when I was in an abusive relationship with my kid's father. This was a type of hurt that it had me wondering and thinking if I would if I had just took more time, if I had just thought about getting into a relationship before I did, but I seen him as, he was a minister, and I had no idea, with him being a minister, that this would happen. Um, I'm thinking that I was over the heartache, the hurt, the disappointment, the frustration, because I had not realized that I really didn't totally get out of the abusive mind frame. Even though he wasn't abusing me like my kid's father did. Even though he wasn't cussing me out, hitting me, calling me all kind of names, he was very respectful, very sweet, very kind. I didn't tell him about the relationship that I was in. I didn't tell him about the abuse because I didn't feel that he needed to know anything about that. It wasn't something that I wanted to talk to a man about. And then I thought that I had gotten over the hurt because I didn't think about it. When I was with him, it was all, I didn't think about uh, that abusive relationship that I was in. I didn't think about um, what I went through. I didn't think about that. I didn't see him as, I didn't see him like he would hurt me like this, my kid's father did. I didn't see that. So therefore, um, I relaxed my guard. I let my guard down. And he was just um, saying the right words, comforting words. I just felt so at ease with him, so comfortable being around him. Um, it wasn't a everyday. We wasn't together every day. because he didn't live where I lived. He stayed out of town, but we talked a lot on the phone. And then when he did come on the weekends, we would do things. We would go riding around, go, meet different people, and that made me feel so good, so special, because here it is, a man that's enjoying me and I'm enjoying this man. Was no sex involved, but the peace that I felt, it was comforting. He was gentle, and I just felt like my past didn't exist. I kept saying, I finally, I'm finally going to be happy. I am finally able to be around a man and not feel uncomfortable. I never thought that I wasn't totally delivered, because he was saying, was, I don't want to say worshiping me. He was encouraging me. Um, he wasn't belittling me. He was just so kind, and I felt like I'm finally, I'm okay. A lot of times when you've been in an abusive relationship, and it takes a while for you to be around another man because you don't have any trust. You're uncomfortable. You're afraid. You don't know um, if you're gonna go through the same thing with this other person. So it took me a while when we first met for me to be comfortable. But as the weeks went, the months went, and there was no negative words. There was no mean, disrespectful words. I took my guard down and I relaxed. And I was happy. And I was just so proud to say I'm comfortable around this man. So the guard was down. There was no shield up. There was no fake smile. None of that. Until I got that letter underneath my door. And I read that letter. And inside of me, I felt my heart had been destroyed beyond repair. Because here it is, he's a minister. And please don't misunderstand me. I'm not downing ministers. I'm not downing men. I'm not bashing men. This is my journey. This is what I went through. This is my testimony. And that fear, frustration, anger, loneliness, hurt came back and I thought it was gone. So, sometimes when you think that, when you feel that um, you no longer carrying any baggage, because, sometimes, when you have a sore and it gets a scab on it, it scabs over. But underneath that scab, that sore is still there. It's just have a scab on it. Well, that's how the hurt was. It had a scab over it. It was still there, but it had a scab. It was covered and it was buried deep, deep down inside. And I didn't realize it until that happened. And the hurt girl that I thought was gone came back. And I had to start baby stepping all over again. I had to write down goals all over again because I was determined not to fall back into a depression. I was determined not to fall back into hate. I was determined not to go back in time. I had to tell myself anything is possible. You just have to believe that you could get through this. And it took a while, but I started in baby steps. I was in that dark tunnel, but I kept looking straight ahead, kept my head up high, saying, I am going to win. I refuse to give up. I'm going to be better. I'm going to get better. I'm not going to lose myself. I'm going to stand up straight. I'm going to walk with my head held up high. I'm going to make it. I told myself this every day. I didn't want to stop encouraging myself. I didn't want that sad girl to come back. I didn't want her. I wanted her to stay gone. So I had to keep her gone. I had to keep encouraging myself. And that's what you have to do. You have to keep encouraging yourself that you're going to be okay. You're going to make it through this. You have to tell yourself this, because if you relax and don't tell yourself that, you're going to go back to your past. So you got to, I had to lift myself up out of that there um, quicksand I was in. I had to lift myself up out of it. And I told myself, I don't need to be in a relationship right now. I need to be healed totally and completely. I need to be healed. That's the only way, is I got to work on me. I had to work on myself. I could not be no one's girlfriend. I wasn't in that frame of mind to do that. I had to become me. I had to be the young lady that I said I was going to be. It may take a while, but I said I'm not giving up. I'm not turning around. And I thank God for my neighbors. They could have took advantage of me, okay, come on, but they didn't. And that was God. God was working this situation with my neighbors. He didn't allow them to allow me to smoke weed or get involved in drugs. The Lord didn't allow them to do that. And I thank the Lord for both of man and woman, because the woman encouraged me. So she checked on me, encouraged me. Would always, when she would see me, she would always say, "It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Don't give up. It's going to get better." I went back to where I got my dress and invitation and all that, and the Lord even blessed in that area. They gave me my money. They counted as a loss, but they was able to. They said they would sell the dress to somebody else. And the invitation, they said, they didn't make a lot of them, and they would destroy the ones that they made. That was God that worked that out, and I thank Him. When I sit here and I think about what I went through in my past, and it was all for a reason, for me to be able to reach out to help some young lady that experience or maybe experience or don't know what to do, and need help, and need to hear that somebody else has been through it, and what did they do, how did they get through it. And that's why I'm doing this podcast. I'm reaching out because I know what the struggles, disappointments, the tears, the frustration, the anger, the bitterness, the hatefulness. I know I had it all. And I just want to let you know, if you're listening, that you can get out of it. Even if you do fall, make mistake, get up. That's how you'll be able to pull yourself through this. Is don't stay down, get up. Don't listen to the people and they're going to talk about you. Don't try to avoid those people. Don't tell unless somebody's know what you're going through. Don't go telling everybody what happened. Write a journal. Write it down. What happened? What you're going through. Keep that to yourself. And then one day when you're out of your situation, go back and read that journal and think about where you was and where you're at now. And remember, like I always say, I pray that I was able to explain, to help, to encourage someone today. And remember, God loves you, and so do I. Have a blessed day. Be blessed, and thank you for listening.